Welcome to What's Your Skroove, where we tell stories, share experiences, and get inside the minds of artists, athletes, creators, and musicians. All right, let's do it. You slide out.
Gotcha.
You got me. What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 39 of What's Your Skroove. Today's guest, there is no guest.
My guest this week is Tyler Lindsay.
You couldn't have guessed that. Hey-o!
Well, it's my show this week. Thanks for coming on, Tyler.
Hey, happy to be here. So this is the studio.
It's yet a real
dungeony, yeah,
vibe.
Glad to be here.
Yeah,
and thanks for flying me out in such style.
You're welcome. Yeah, I am a man of means, and I take care of my guests. Mm-hmm. Thank you for coming on the show on such short notice.
Yeah, no problem.
We called you like 2 hours ago because our last guest canceled, and we tried getting 2 more people on before you.
So I was the fourth.
And they were all busy. So thank you for having nothing going on.
This coffee is disgusting. What is this?
Thursday evening. It would seem like you would have some friends or something to do, but you had nothing going on.
Nope, nothing. Yeah, no. Happy to be here.
I know they're shields. I just keep calling them potions.
Shout out to Jeff.
We might have a treat for Jeff.
I hope so.
Come next week.
Let's just get into it. Discover Weekly.
Yeah, go ahead. Guest. Be my guest.
Be my guest. Put ourselves to the test. We're going to watch that in French class.
You did?
La Belle et la Bête. It's Beauty and the Beast. Yes, Discover Weekly. For those of you who don't know, Discover Weekly is something that we watched, read, listened to, bought, consumed in some way recently that we've enjoyed. For me, that is The Godfather. I finished it last night. Ended up watching part 3 as well.
You did?
Yeah. Wow. So I think the first one's 2.5 hours. The second one's 3.5 hours. And the third one is another 2.5 hours. So long. Incredibly long movies. They were awesome.
Really?
I'm ashamed to admit that I had not seen them up to that point as much as I appreciate.
Why are they so cool?
I think for starters, they're very ahead of their time. Like if you watch other films from that era, like I looked up the years. The first reason I looked up the year as soon as it was done was because I couldn't believe. I goes, man, they must have waited 10 or 15 years to shoot the third one, and they did. They waited 16 years to shoot the third Godfather. That's how far it is from the second one, but the first and second one only like a year and a half or 2 years apart.
Why'd they do that?
Because Al Pacino's character has to be older. But instead of like using makeup, which I'm sure they probably did still, like he is genuinely like an older man. Like compared to being 30, he's like 45, 46.
That's cool.
And I didn't know that. I didn't expect that, but the patience to wait 16, 15 years to, and maybe there was more reasoning behind it. Maybe it was a budgeting thing. I really doubt it because I think the first two are really successful. But if you look at other movies from that timeline, I think the first one was in 1972. It's so far ahead of its time, just the way the story is told, and I like watching old movies. I don't know. I really appreciate it. And I think it told stories from multiple perspectives really well, especially the second one. The second one's probably my favorite because you have Michael Corleone, who is played by Al Pacino. Simultaneously, there's another alternate timeline of his dad, Vito Corleone, growing up, and they're like both establishing their rise to power, and it's bouncing back and forth, and those timelines go. You're not like lost. Like sometimes you're like, oh, is this the old? It's really smooth, and just the music and they're not really effects, but like it's just for how old the movie is. There's very few moments where I was like, oh, that's fake. Like I remember like one fighting scene where it was very obvious they weren't punching somebody, but other than that, it was just really well like choreographed, and I just enjoyed the story, and it was contrary to what I expected. And spoiler alert, if you've never seen it, just fast forward or something. This isn't a spoiler really, but I thought it was all about Vito Corleone, which is played by
Marlon Brando.
That was always my perspective of The Godfather. He's really only in
two.
the first movie. It's
Oh, really?
It's more about his son.
Yeah, I thought it was about him too.
So did I. Yeah, Al Pacino, who is his son, Michael
Well,
Corleone.
now it's ruined and I don't have to see it.
Now you don't have to see it. So that really was a big surprise to me. And for as famous as those movies are, and as long as they've been around, I can't believe I didn't know that. But anyway, all three of them are on Netflix, so you can watch them. But
Because you know where they chop off the horse's head and put it in
that
the
is
bed?
where that's the first one. Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, they.
Somebody owes him some money.
No, I think he told this guy to. I think if I remember correctly, the Godfather, Vito Corleone, wanted to have this guy sign this singer or this actor for a certain part, and he wouldn't do it. So he was going to make him an offer he couldn't refuse, which usually means do it or I'm going to kill you.
Yeah.
His message to him was because I believe he sent his like son, it's like one of the characters who's not his son, but I think it's Robert Duvall who plays him too. Is that the guy from like The Judge and Secondhand Lions?
Yeah.
And is that Robert Duvall?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's who this, because he's so young. I was
Really?
like, whoa. He sends him to negotiate, and the guy's talking about his prize horses and how they're worth millions of dollars. So they cut off the horse's head, this $1 million horse, and put it in his bed.
Really?
And the guy signs it, obviously.
That's
Then
funny.
wakes up, and he's got these satin sheets, and they're all covered in blood. And so, I don't know. My only advice is I would like cut out a day and watch them all in a day. I watched the first one like a week ago. Then I just watched the second one. Maybe it was 2 weeks ago, actually. 2 nights ago, I started watching the second one, and it's so long. There's an actual intermission in it, and I stopped there because it was like 2 a.m, and like I got to get some sleep. And then last night, I finished the second intermission, the third one. But I wish I would have watched them a little tighter together because I was like, and there was a little bit of lag in remembering kind of some of the timeline stuff. But it's a cool movie, and I mean, I think a lot of the concepts are like very real, like turn of the century America. You know,
It's not based on a true story, is it?
no, it's probably hyperbolizing, real mafia families, but to my knowledge, the Corleones weren't real, but
Yeah.
yeah. Good.
I'll stick away from the impressions this episode.
Right here. I thought people loved your impression.
Yeah, it was really good, actually, though. Yeah.
You know who else I think's in it? It is him. Robert De Niro plays the young Marlon Brando.
Oh, does he?
Yeah. The other thing is, I think Marlon Brando still did the talking for him. Because the way he talks, it sounds just like, I don't want to scratch your voice.
Really?
Yeah. But really good movie.
I'll have to watch those. My Discover Weekly is this chick named Valentine Thomas. I found out about her because she was on Joe Rogan's podcast, actually.
Who's that?
And here she comes. Bring it up, man.
Yeah. Confetti everywhere.
She is a spearfishing woman. And at like 26.
So is that the proper term?
I mean, spearfisherman.
Yeah, I know. I've never heard that.
Professional
like
spearfishing
like a
woman.
fisherman. Is it a fisherman and fisherwoman? Is that how like it was on his? I'm just curious because
That's like what it says on her Instagram.
okay.
That's
So yeah,
how he introduces
I've never
her.
thought about that.
Professional spearfishing woman. She was like a lawyer in Canada. She grew up in Montreal. Didn't like that. Her family were all lawyers. Moved to London to get out of like where she was born and raised, where she went to college. Went to London, got a job at some finance firm.
Sounds like a suit.
Did that. Hated it.
Good.
I met this one guy. He was like, hey, let me take you to, I forget where it was, somewhere. We'll teach you how to free dive. She learned how to free dive. Went spearfishing and like fell in love with it. And a couple of interesting parts was at 14, like she almost drowned. So she was like deathly afraid of water and swimming.
Well, and for those that don't know, like free diving is like you literally go down and hold your breath for typically how long? Like a minute to like 2 minutes at a time, right?
Oh, yeah.
Good free divers.
Well, 1 to 3 minutes, yeah.
Yeah.
Go down like 45 feet.
You go down, you hold your
50,
breath,
60
and
feet.
you typically do you have is it a harpoon gun or normally just like a spear?
No, for spearfishing, they have like a harpoon gun
But
most of the time.
But
to
free
my
divers,
understanding.
how do they fish?
Free diving is just free diving. You're just diving.
Oh, but
just to
I
hold your
thought
breath to
typically
get
free
fish.
divers like fish too.
I mean, yeah, because you have to be able to hold your breath for.
Like complementary skills. But anyway, the point is
Like you have to know how to free dive.
you have to go down
spearfish.
underwater for extended periods of time. So go ahead.
There's obviously techniques for it and all this different stuff. So, like 14, she almost drowned at some family vacation or whatever. So she was deathly afraid of like water and water that she couldn't see the bottom in. So, like for her to do that and fall in love with the spearfishing thing was super interesting. She didn't like her job. She was kind of fed up with society and buying material things and getting caught up in the rat race. So at 26, she just quit and lived out of her car for like a month and found a way to become a professional spearfishing woman. And like to this day, she was just on like Tuesday on Joe Rogan's podcast. To this day, she goes like, I'm not struggling anymore, but she's still trying to figure out her path and how to make money and all this stuff. She said she's working on a TV show and like a cookbook and all this stuff because she's like really big into cooking. But I thought it was super cool, super inspiring because she's 31 now, and obviously a lot of people are like, well, what are you doing? Why are you leaving such a good job to go travel around the world and spearfish? But it fulfills her. Like her Instagram bio is a sustainable quest for happiness as a spearfishing woman. And I think that's super cool. Somebody at that age with that kind of a job and security and comfort zone said, screw this. I want to do something that's fun. And that makes me happy.
One, that level of like status, in the finance world. 2, at that age, and 3, doing something that she probably feared more than almost anything.
Yeah, she like didn't like it at first.
Yeah.
She really did it. She got into it because she was like really big into cooking, and she goes, "I get fresh food. Like this is the freshest I'll ever get fish and stuff like that." So she did kind of get into cooking because she didn't even like the spearfishing part. She almost got attacked by tiger sharks a couple times. Her story's super cool. The Joe Rogan podcast is episode 1162, so I recommend you check that out. And her Instagram, follow her because she's doing a lot for like ocean conservation and helping control like fish populations and all that good stuff. Her Instagram is just Valentine Thomas. So yeah, check her out. The Joe Rogan episode was really sweet, super rad chick, and I thought it was just very inspiring
That
to
is
hear
very
her story.
inspiring. That is cool. I'll have to listen to that one. I haven't heard that one yet. I'm picking my way through the Neil deGrasse Tyson one, but I'm kind of splitting my attention with the Ben Franklin audiobook. I still have like 2 hours left in that. So
The most recent Neil deGrasse Tyson one.
yeah, I've listened to the old one, but yeah, the most recent one.
Nice.
Yes,
I gotta finish the old one.
it's cool.
I never got all the way
He
through.
wears a cool hat.
Yeah, that's nice. That's what I heard. I didn't really watch a video of that
Should
one.
watch videos so you can see. You'd respect this hat, I think.
Yeah, I like watching the Valentine Thomas one.
I
took
love
the
watching
time
the videos more than listening to them, but
to
like it's just
watch-
less practical. It happens very.
I mean, it was
very
like 2
often.
hours. So Tuesday night or whatever,
Yeah,
it was like sitting down and watching a movie.
Yeah.
Because I watched it on YouTube.
yeah.
But highly recommend it. Very inspiring story. Very cool. Very cool, Valentine. Thank you.
There you go.
We can recap.
Friday we laid so low. We were in the sedimentary rock. we were calm and quiet and stayed in and just.
Well, what did we do Thursday? Oh, we went out. We went out Thursday. We got here Thursday night.
Just us? I don't remember.
Yeah, that's when I went out to over to Brett and Brian's, and then we went to Jay's and Rosie's.
Ah, yes.
And then, Friday we laid low. And Saturday we had a big day.
Yeah, well, we laid low intentionally Friday.
Yeah, that was intentional.
Because Saturday.
That was on purpose.
We had a double whammy. First off, we had Exposed.
Yes.
Troy's event.
Troy Murray, a.k.a. TYP Collection.
Boom.
That's his artist name and Instagram account.
That was super cool. It was right in Birmingham, Michigan. He has got a beautiful, beautiful studio right in the heart of Birmingham, like right downtown. So we went to that, saw him.
He's an artist.
Yep. Did we say he's Chester's brother yet?
No.
He's Chester's brother. So we got to see Chester there, and also we met some other interesting people. Harris was there, who was just on our podcast.
Harrison Tyler.
Did I just say Harris?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thinking of Aziz Ansari's cousin.
Yeah. No, Harrison. Sorry about that, buddy. Yeah. No, Harrison was there, and we just got to hang out with them, see some art. We bought some art, actually. We are very cultured now. We are buying art. Then after that, it was our friend Genevieve's 22nd birthday party bus, which was just a real wild time, as Rodney Dangerfield would say. And we had a blast there. You and I, we danced our faces off.
Very sweaty.
Very sweaty.
Good workout.
Good workout. Sunday, I went and got a new Apple case. This would have been a good Discover Weekly. Should I save it? Nah, I'll just say it. I'd used the silicone apple case before.
You should save it after you're already into it.
Yeah, silicone apple case, and it fell apart and just tore and ripped and broke apart. And eventually, where it broke, I dropped my phone, and from that broken spot, crack stemmed out. So I ended up getting my screen replaced, and I bought on Sunday the Apple leather case because I turned to Reddit. One of my other Discover Weeklies posted on the iPhone 10 thing, said what's the best case for thinness, quality, protection, all the stuff, and the overwhelming, I got like 50, 60 responses probably. Overwhelming answer was the Apple leather case is the best one for that, and I like the Apple cases. They're nice. So I bought that Sunday. Did I miss anything?
No. Troy's exposed event was very cool.
It was sick.
Yeah, we met cool people, and we met a new friend, Seth. Yeah, he was hilarious.
One bar.
Yeah, I like that kid. He said, we were telling him about the podcast and what we do. He's very interested. Seth Peterson, I believe is his last name. Seth, if you're listening, submit that question so
Yeah,
we'll get
come
you
on,
a
dude.
shirt.
Submit the question, bro.
But we were telling him about the podcast and what we cover, and we told him how on one episode we answered a submitted question of whether a hot dog is a sandwich or a sub. And he said that question
Divided.
his high school.
Yeah. So I guess he's a senior in high school, which I wouldn't guess. He's a mature-looking kid.
Yeah. He was so funny.
He goes, yeah, that question divided my school. Like,
Yeah.
That sounded like it really caused some friendships to be ruined.
Yeah.
But he was a funny kid.
He was a good time.
Yep.
So yeah, exposed. Enjoyed that. Yeah, we got a piece of art. So
We can preview.
today's Thursday.
It is Thursday.
After this, our buddy Brett invited us over. I guess college football kicks off tonight. So enjoying some college football on the tube out on the patio.
With the TV.
So start the weekend off that way. If you're in college, tonight is really the start of the weekend. And I think me and you think that we're still in college.
Yes.
Sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, because I'm always a student of the game.
Right, we're always
Right?
learning. That's
Yeah.
why.
Yeah.
And so that's tonight.
I'm so glad you said that because my quote of the week is going to tie in with that.
I know. That's why I said
No,
it.
you didn't know that.
I could feel it.
And it's going to tie in with my Discover Weekly because I tend to do that. I like to try and bring everything full circle, but that helps with that full thing. So go ahead, continue.
Your quote's a line from The Godfather.
It is.
I knew it.
It is.
So
I like to do that. I like
Yeah.
to tie my quote in with something that we're talking about. Like I did Ben Franklin stuff and Tim Ferriss stuff.
That is cool.
It's fun.
And so Thursday. Well, yeah, I just want to go back here. Let's go back a little bit, couple days. Let's go back 2 days. Because you're talking about Tim Ferriss.
Yes.
Quote. Check out episode 38 of
38.
What's Your Skroove.
It's good.
With Harrison Diskin.
It's very good.
Because he's a talent buyer. He offered some great advice. But he is really big into Tim Ferriss as well. And we talk about Tim Ferriss
He's kind
every
of
podcast.
like a shadow of Tim Ferriss in the way of like kind of a human guinea pig on his own experiments a little bit. And
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
So we really dove into Tim Ferriss in that episode, and Harrison was a very cool guy.
I love
really
that podcast. I had so much
enjoyed
fun.
getting to know his story, and he just offered great advice, and even offered advice to us, and kind of opened our eyes to new perspectives. So it was very cool. So Friday is this weekend's Arts Beats and Eats, which we've never been to. It's a big festival in the
Kenny,
Royal Oak
it is
area.
this Friday.
Starts Friday, so we're gonna go to that tomorrow, we believe. They have beer, food, culture, art, music. I guess they have a bunch of music.
I always thought it was like the vegetable beat.
You
Like
know
Bears
what? It
Beats
might
Battlestar Galactica. How is it spelled?
I don't know.
2 E's or EA?
I do not know.
EA Sports.
So that's Friday. Saturday, we have this exclusive event. It's just
You guys have never even heard of it.
It's special. I followed these guys on Instagram for a couple years. Hot to death. They would throw these events throughout the summer, throughout the year, and we're going to our first one this Saturday. It's a pool party at this like secret location. You had to buy tickets to it. I'm really excited for it.
I'm stoked.
I'm excited to see what it's all about. I've seen them on social media promoting their different parties, and they look like a good time. So we're going to check that out Saturday.
Yes.
Stoked for that. It's a pool party, so I mean, bro, Labor Day weekend.
Let's go.
Pool. Does not get any better than that. Sunday, we have
Family
our
reunion.
Family reunion, yes.
It's a golf outing. Which is actually a really cool concept. Whoever came up with that,
It is a great concept
because they try, and every year first off they try and balance teams, but more importantly they try and have you golf with somebody different almost every year. It's like a 4 or 5 sum
scramble.
It's a scramble, and most of the family are golfers. We're not really golfers, but we're competitive.
But I'm an athlete.
We're athletes. We can poke into anything we want. But so each year they try and make it so you golf with different people from the family, because in a family reunion you typically talk to the same people, so you get to know everybody,
second cousins, stuff like that.
Yeah, or different aunts and uncles, second, yeah, and it's and if teams are maybe unfair because of that, they balance it with handicaps and strokes and things like that, and it is really cool. I've gotten to know a lot of family members way better that I didn't know just because I had to golf with them. Especially if you share a cart with somebody.
Yeah.
You just get talking throughout the day.
It's a very good
you're
concept.
boozing. You're having some drinks, and it is a good concept. Whoever thought of that, it's actually a really good idea. And there's a prize.
There's a trophy.
Yeah, there's a trophy.
Cash prize.
Yep.
The competitive nature. I mean,
it's a competitive family.
It's fun.
Yeah,
it's really fun, and I don't want to brag or nothing, but
so
last
Discover
year,
Weekly quote of the week.
My dad and me were on the same team, and that was our first mistake ever putting us on the same team. Me and my dad.
Not to mention they had more strokes than every team combined, divided by 9.
That is not true. We did have a fair amount of strokes, but it was relative to our skill level. My dad and me, we both golf once a year, maybe twice. I haven't gone out this year. He hasn't gone out this year. And the only time we golf is at this golf outing. So last year we won. It was my dad, me, Aunt Shirley, and Erica. And I know why we won. Our team was the only team that did Aunt Shirley's Tai Chi before
the tee off.
Before tee off. So we were Team Tai Chi, and we ended up bringing it home. Yeah. Great team effort, but yeah, that was fun. So I have a championship to defend this upcoming weekend is where I was going with that. And I'm sorry, did that come off as braggy?
Listen to the crickets.
Did that come off?
No one cares.
Did that come off as braggy at all?
No, that was so humble that it was stupid. So yeah, that's Sunday.
I'm looking forward to it.
And then Monday we might be meeting up with Skyman and Tony for a little party, or we might
for
be
Labor Day.
Yeah, we're not sure yet. So
Labor Day fun.
Labor Day fun day.
Yeah, so it should be an eventful weekend.
You say, hey. Wow. Hey, Boomba.
Slap in the cheek.
I know. Yeah.
Remind me to never light your cigarette. We should have Leslie Nielsen. I wish she was still alive.
I know. That
would be a great podcast. Are you kidding me?
No, that would be... how do we not have that for that question? That would be... I don't think there's anybody I would rather have on this show than Leslie Nielsen.
Oh my gosh.
I don't think
we would laugh the entire time.
And the thing is, he would never laugh.
I know, and we would never take him serious. Everything he said would just be tongue in cheek.
He'd sit down, glass of water, and then he'd go, "Yes, it is." Okay. Cigarette? Yes, it is.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh,
I think you finally found the answer to that question.
The ultimate podcast guest would be Leslie Nielsen. Quote of the week. Go ahead, Godfather. Don Corleone.
Well, there's multiple Don Corleones.
All right.
Don is like a title. This was from Don Vito Corleone.
Who's that? Al Pacino?
No, he's Michael Corleone.
Is this Marlon Brando?
This is Vito, Marlon Brando. Should I do it in his voice?
Yeah, you have to.
I don't know if I can. I didn't practice this. I've learned more on the streets than in any classroom.
I like that.
Yeah. So, like, you said the whole thing about we're still in college. Well, more or less, we're still students of the game. The point of that isn't to devalue school, if that's for you. The point is, get out there and you learn by doing. You learn more than
experience.
If anybody didn't hear me because I was using my raspy voice for the impression.
Yeah, you were.
That was actually good.
I know.
I've learned more in the streets than in any classroom. Vito Corleone. I mean, the point is simply, are we still going on? Yeah, we're still going on there. The point I'm trying to make with that quote, I guess, is you typically learn a lot more, or at least in my experience, by doing things firsthand. You can read about stuff and take tactics and strategies, but implementation, execution, things we talk about a lot, yield great results. So that's my quote of the week.
Great quote.
Thank you.
I like it. I think every quote that you brought to the table so far.
Thank you.
On the podcast since we
I
started
like
this.
your quotes as well.
Ah, don't kiss my ass, Tyler.
No, I'm sorry.
No, you've had some good quotes. Mine.
You know what they say, the price of anything is the amount of life you're willing to exchange for it.
Yeah, I said that last week.
I know.
Who said that?
You did. Kenny, who said it?
Kenny Lindsay, Henry David Thoreau.
Yeah.
So I was flipping through the quote almanac that Dad gave us, looking for a quote this week. Stumbled across a great quote that I thought reflected this week or yesterday. Yesterday specifically. The quote is, "Yesterday ended last night" by John Maxwell. Yesterday ended last night. Yesterday I was just in a weird mood. I was kind of just in a lethargic
We were in a bit of a
mood.
funk, both of us.
It was weird. It wasn't as productive as I thought. The day wasn't as productive as I wanted it to be, and yeah, I was just in an off mood. Just couldn't get my mind right, my headspace right, and yeah, that's what the day was yesterday. But today I woke up and felt super energetic, and I felt just very at peace when I woke up this morning. And that quote I think just reflects every day is its own day, and it kind of ties in with what Harrison said: "Don't be too hard on yourself."
Yep.
And yesterday ended last night. Yesterday's dead and gone. It's over with. Today's a new day. So
Agreed. I like the quote. Simple to the point.
simple yet effective.
Yes. Minimum and effective.
Minimum effective dose.
MED.
Med.
No, it's an abbreviation.
All right. Keep the people entertained with a little song. I'm going to restart the camera.
Oh, there once was a boy named Tyler. He had a pet Rottweiler. I don't know where to go with this, but I got to get up and take up. Hey, you're back.
Shine your shoes, wipe your
Face.
You know what that reminded me of when you were singing right there?
What?
Did it remind you of anything? Like a radio show like this?
No.
Remind me of NPR, the Click and Clap Brothers.
Oh.
Car Talk.
Yeah.
When they had like those random songs just in the
Yeah.
middle of the
Oh,
episode.
yeah. Those songs are awesome.
I know.
Should I write little jingles for in between?
That's what that reminded me
Yeah.
of right there. Like we took a
Thank
little
you.
break and we had a little music
The
entertainment.
Puzzler.
I love those guys. I think one of them passed away,
I do
but
too, yeah.
that would have been a sweet collab podcast. Us
Us
doing
with
them
them.
too. Are you kidding
Oh
me?
my! So they answer the questions our guests sent in, and we answer the car-related questions.
Oh my gosh, that would be hilarious. 'Cause I know nothing.
I
About
know.
it. You have a basic understanding.
Very
of cars,
small,
but I know nothing.
yes, that is true.
Car Talk. If you want some good entertainment, listen to
If you have a long
Car Talk.
drive and you need a laugh,
on NPR. It's a free app, and it's these two brothers that answer
the Tappet Brothers.
mechanical questions about cars. People call in,
But
and
it's a
it is the
comedy.
driest sense of humor. It is like, oh my gosh,
We love
hilarious.
it. Is Kansas flatter than a pancake?
Kansas is indeed
Flatter than a pancake.
Oh my gosh! All right, questions. We got a lot of questions. this
Okay, yeah.
week.
So here's the thing: we got a lot of. Not only do we get a lot of questions, we got a lot of good questions.
So I think this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna answer maybe 3 today. We have some serious ones, and then we have some really funny ones, and a couple serious ones left over that we're gonna answer next week. So it's a short week, Labor Day week. I don't think we're gonna have a guest. We'll probably just do like a completely Q&A show because we have a lot of good questions.
And then one of these shows, just like the ones you're listening to now.
Right, with the segments, the Discover Weekly, the Quote of the Week. So yeah, answer 3 questions today, and then dive into some more Q&As next week, and potentially do a live Instagram, Facebook.
Yes. Do you want me to pull up a question now?
Yeah.
Nose itches.
I got mine written down if you want me to go.
I got it.
Good.
Felicia Fullwood, previous What's Your Skroove podcast guest, and photographer extraordinaire. Have either of you guys ever worked a traditional job, or have you always been entrepreneurs? Well, that's a great question. We can answer it. But if you want a much more in-depth version of this question, we did answer it pretty seriously and went in really deep with Gina Bologna, episode 007, I believe it was.
Did we?
Yeah.
Did she ask us?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But we can still answer it again for you guys. But if you want like a more funny, like we were drunk, or at least pretty intoxicated when we had that show. So go listen to episode 7. But anyway, yes, I for a very, very short period of time worked at Men's Warehouse. My senior year in high school, I think it was. But I really only worked there for like a week, but more or less, when I had the ability to work there, I had the ability to get like 60% off any suits there. So I worked there for like a week, got a couple of suits, but the manager, Curtis, he told me try it for a week, and if you don't like, I ran into him at our high school. He came to speak about working at like Men's Warehouse. It wasn't a career fair. He just came into our marketing class. Him and I got talking. He goes, dude, you got to come work for me. You got to come sell suits. You'd have a lot of fun. And I told him I
like the way I look. You like
the way I look. You guarantee it. I told him I have no desire to have a job right now. I'm in high school, and our parents supported us through high school. I had no reason to need a job. He was like, come try it. He goes, at least you'll get a suit out of it. Went and tried it for a week. Ended up getting a couple suits and quit after that. And he respected the decision. He was really cool about it. He was fine. He goes, I told you you could. But so that was the closest thing I've had to a real job. I think that's it. Is that it? Did I do anything else besides that?
We worked with Brett Miller that one summer.
Yeah, we worked. I wouldn't call that a job though. I guess it was a source of income. We like flipped a house one summer. Our buddy Brett had bought a house, and we like did all like the manual labor. I mean, he helped too, but like we were there to like move stuff in and out, tear down drywall, paint the walls, different things like that. So we were the grunts behind that. Learned some valuable skills, but other than that, not really. I've never really had a job where I had to like fill out taxes for it, other than, you know what I mean, like a real like source of income other than what we're doing now.
Yeah. So after
I
high
feel like
school,
I'm forgetting something, but I talked about it in episode 7. So
after high school, I worked for our parents' friend Blake. I roofed houses for a couple summers and did like restoration work for water and fire damage. And absolutely,
I forgot what else I did. Go ahead though.
Hated doing that. It's no fun. Super laborious. It's good money, but I hated it. Hated roofing. Got a good tan. That was one positive out of it. You could work without your shirt on, so I got a phenomenal tan that summer. It was a good workout, but did not like it. Did not like the roofing aspect. Not the biggest fan of heights, so therein lies the problem with that. The water and fire restoration stuff was miserable too, because you go into these houses that are all moldy, or there's soot everywhere because they're burned down or flooded. It stunk.
Stank.
So yeah, I did that. One positive out of that though was this gas station burned down. Mm-hmm. And you're supposed to throw everything away. It was like, there's a bunch of snacks. There's the coolers that were full of beer and pop and energy drinks. And behind the counter was a bunch of Black & Milds and all the tobacco and all that stuff. So, may or may not have taken, borrowed a handful of Black & Milds out of there. Yeah. Maybe I can neither confirm nor deny. It would have been a good idea if...
You should have did that.
I should have.
God. Anywho.
Yeah, anywho. So, yeah, that was a cool idea while I was working there. Did that for like 2 summers. No fun. One summer I worked for Menards.
My brother... I've never seen my brother more happy with his life
I hated it.
than when he worked at Menards.
Absolutely.
Went to work smiling, came home smiling.
I would have paid money not to work there. If I had the money.
My brother hated it. He was a miserable human being.
It was the absolute worst. I always had a kind of good understanding of like trading your time for money, and I didn't think any of those jobs were really worth it. But I obviously needed money to do stuff.
You had to work the summer when you weren't at college. So you had money for
so I had money, but I should have been a little more ambitious and found a better jobs, but I didn't because I just didn't want to work for anyone. So I just took those shitty jobs, but Menards was awful. The only cool thing from that job
Yes.
was I did get to drive a forklift around, and met Phil there, which Phil was
Phil.
hilarious.
Hey, what's that?
So I'm like forklift certified, but the thing is, I never got like a certificate or anything, so I'm not like technically forklift certified for a
What?
fact. And that was a very nerve-wracking job because I did it because I wanted money. I didn't do it because I liked Menards in the slightest. Hated it. So I did it for money, right? But if I broke something while I'm like operating this forklift, it would have to come out of my paycheck.
Are you serious?
So it's, I mean, yeah. So it's super nerve wracking. Like you had to get. I just remember you had to go like pick up these like garage doors, like garage door panels off the top shelf in your forklift, like
Which probably aren't cheap.
rocking back and forth. No, and then you have to. It was always in the tightest little chamber or whatever those little things are
I know what
called.
you're talking about.
It was it was always in the smallest one. The garage doors were. And I had to go up there, and your things like rocking back and forth, and it's picking them up, and then you had to like maneuver it so tightly, not hit the walls and other stuff, and it was just it was stressful. It was not fun. It was despised it.
Yeah, God, that sounds awful. I remember.
And then then we worked for Brett Miller, and that was it.
So, order of operations here. For me, Menards, Men's Warehouse was my senior year of high school. The Brett thing, the flipping the house, was summer going into my freshman year of college, I believe. And then the only other gig I had, which this was, I love this guy, and he did this just as a favor to me. He really didn't need the help. Joel Reed was, his son was on my little brother's baseball team. His dad was like an assistant coach. And I was like, hey, I'm looking for, pick up some cash. And I didn't really want to have a normal job. So he owns like an auto body place. He just like works out of his garage and does like super great work. He does all these cool classic cars and stuff. So hey, just come give me a hand. And he paid me really well. And I like would, Bondo stuff and pull out dents and like just work on cars and not like the internals. It was all like cosmetic stuff. And he was just such a cool, if you want to call him a boss, he paid me like early, like all the time. He'd take me out for lunch, and he's like, dude, like nothing here can be messed up. It's already broken anyway. So like if you mess up, we just do it again. And so it was really stress free. And he really didn't need the help. I think he just, one, we got along really well, and he enjoyed my company, and I enjoyed his company, and he just knew that like it would be flexible enough for us to do what we had to do and make money. And he's like, if you don't want to come to work, don't come to work. If you want to come to work, just let me know. And it was like that simple. And I'm very grateful for that opportunity. And
That was cool.
It was really, really good for that stage of my life. And I actually enjoyed that. I like working on cars. We'd listen to like radio, like the talk shows and stuff. And I got to learn more about cars and meet all these people with these really cool, expensive, like classic cars and stuff. And it was a fun gig. So thanks, Joel, if you're listening.
Glad you had fun.
I did have a lot of fun.
I enjoyed hanging out.
Bondo. I still can smell Bondo, though. That's not a good smell.
I
Some
enjoyed
people
hanging
like-
out with Blake. He made it fun
Yeah.
working, roughing houses, but yeah. I told a funny story about that one guy that hated the sun in Gina's episode.
You should just leave it for that so
Yeah,
people go
I
listen
will.
to it.
Episode 7. All right. Andrew Kernow, I believe is how you say your last name. So we're staying in this little ecosystem right here. We met Andrew because it's Felicia's boyfriend.
Yes.
So he asked a very great question. If you didn't have Skroove and the ability to create content, what would you be doing day to day?
First off, how are we interpreting that question? Because I feel like it's a little open for interpretation.
Yeah, so I have two answers for it. It can either be if you had like make money, what would you do? Or if like you didn't have to make money, but you didn't have the ability to create and have Skroove, what would you do? So I have two answers. If I could do it whatever I wanted, didn't need money at all, what I would do is probably just travel around in the van and just go experience different stuff, go to the coast. I'd love to surf more, so that would definitely be a part of it. And just meet cool people, have cool experiences, meet cool people, go see new things, and surf more. Learn how to surf, travel in the van, live out of the van.
My answer
That's
pretty
exactly
heavily
what I do.
mirrors that. I would travel like 100%. if it's the sense of like where you don't need money, I guess, is that what we're saying? Yeah,
That's my answer for that.
I would like literally just travel and like try as many things as I could, like do things that areas are like super well known for. Like if you're in surf towns, go surfing, and if you're in like Colorado and these ski hills, like go skiing and snowboarding, and like just travel around and hit all these areas and do local culture and cuisine that's unique to that area. Kind of like what you're saying, but I would want to vlog the whole thing.
You can't create.
So if I can't do that, which I would, because I love doing that and it's so much fun, I'm gonna cheat that answer and I would start a blog and I would blog. I think that's kind of a gray area. That's not creating. That's just putting your
That's
thoughts in.
creating. That's creating. You get see, like I would take photos and stuff too. If I did that, if you didn't. Do
Okay,
like,
I would write a
videos,
book.
You could okay. I think it's still cheating.
I have this need to
Yeah, express yourself.
express myself. I would have to do. I wouldn't. What would be the point?
Yeah, I mean, you wanna express yourself. I mean,
But it's very selfish in my
You-
expression.
You want to
Like, I-
express yourself
like,
and you want to share it with people.
Yeah, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, go listen to the last podcast. I do the vlog. Yeah, it's cool content for the brand or good for the brand and gets views and different things, but I do it because I thoroughly enjoy it. It's very fulfilling. Number one, I love running around town with a video camera. It's fun. And then other people like to get involved and you meet people. And it's a fun process filming. Like just like when you're a little kid, like when your parents had a camera, you always want to take pictures on it. And like you always wanted to videotape stuff. Oh, can I? And that's no different. And I like the fulfillment of hitting publish every day, but I genuinely enjoy the creative process. It inserts discipline into my life. I have to do it every day. There's no such thing as a day off. It's just discipline, and it's very good for my mental health and my creative outlet, and it forces me to do new things. So I would do all that, and I would find a loophole that I could create around it, whether it's blog, whether it's vlog, whether it's write a book or write a screenplay, or if I couldn't create, pay somebody to follow me around with a camera maybe or something like that. But it would just be trying a bunch of different, sampling everything I could.
If I had to work somewhere and make money without Skroove and without creating.
So this is the other way we're interpreting it.
Yeah. I would probably go work for Red Bull, or if I had to go work for somebody, or if I could create my own business that wasn't Skroove and didn't involve me creating directly, I'd probably start a music label, a record company. I love music. I love finding new talent. I love listening to new music. And I think it'd be super cool and fulfilling and inspiring to help musicians achieve their dream.
It's so weird because creating things, we've been doing it every day for so long. I can't picture a scenario where that's not an option. I don't really have a good answer for this. I mean, I like your answer of Red Bull. It's we think one of the greatest brands.
What about?
I would probably. Well, let me say what I was gonna say. I don't hear you. I would probably do something with. If I couldn't be the creator, I would be in the creative process somehow. I'd get involved in movies somehow. I would in the cinematic world. I love movies and something I'm really passionate about. And whether that's physically acting, like I would love to be in movies. I don't think of myself as an actor, but that would be fun, like being in movies. But if I couldn't even be in the creative process of like writing, because I'd love to write a movie someday. But yeah, just like be within like the cinema ecosystem, I think would be super fun.
What about doing something with like Smith & Wesson or a gun company?
That'd be cool, but I think I'd get bored of it very fast.
Or like shooting competitively.
I don't think I'm good enough.
Yeah.
I mean, who knows? I mean, if I put hours and hours, I think I would get bored of that. I love shooting. But the thing is, let me just throw this out there. I haven't gone to the range in like a couple months. If I really love shooting, I'd be going like twice a month. So I thoroughly enjoy it, and yeah, it's expensive, but like it's not one of those things I could do every day and be happy and like that was a fulfilling day. I love being around the creative process, and I love movies, and I think I would love to see, the guts of how a movie is made and the entire process, and in whatever that would entail. I think I would be like how you would be in the music industry, I would be in the movie industry, whatever that is, recruiting talent.
And then we would both go do that, and then we would combine our knowledge and our
resources
network and create this company called Skroove.
Yeah, exactly. It would all come back. I just don't have a good answer because I don't see it as a reality. I've never put time or effort into it because it's not a thought.
Last question. Great question, Andrew. I think that wins.
I'm mad. That's a good question. It's so good that I'm mad because it's aggravating because it stumped me.
We have
Very
one more
good.
question,
Very good
but I'm
question.
pretty sure Andrew's is going to win because we did preview these before the show. Anna Fullwood, which is Felicia's mom,
Yes.
which we met at Cruise for the Culture. Anna, lovely meeting you. And thank you for the question.
Yes.
What originally brought you to Detroit? So we moved down here March 1st.
Which was not the original plan.
No, we thought we'd move out to Grand Rapids.
That was always the plan.
We went out there a lot for business and had some connections out there. Have shops out there.
We were very attracted to like the city life of Grand Rapids, but like the beach culture of Grand Haven.
Grand Haven's close. The Lake Michigan's right there. Go Great Lakes surfing very easily. Living out in Grand Rapids because it's like you're half hour away, 45 minutes away from different surf spots. So we always thought Grand Rapids. But as we thought about it more, Detroit was a way better answer because it's very up and coming. There's a way more opportunity in Detroit. So much more to do.
Especially for creatives.
For creatives, Grand Rapids is if you really compare Detroit to Grand Rapids, the city of Grand Rapids is very small. There's a handful of bars. The city is just, the stuff to do is in a very tight quarters. Detroit, it's huge, and there's suburbs, and Royal Oak, and Ferndale, and Hamtramck, and all these different areas around Detroit. But, I mean, Detroit's Detroit.
There's so many microcultures in Detroit.
Yeah, and Detroit is synonymous with cities like New York and Chicago. Huge cities, Los Angeles, and America.
It's a tourist stop for, everything. Yeah.
So we figured it would be the best business decision, and for us to grow personally, and as a brand to grow the brand in Detroit.
And we started frequenting the area like we did Grand Rapids, and we learned how attracted we were to the vibrance of the city and the party scene of Royal Oak.
The pride of Detroit, too.
Right, the pride of Detroit, the vibrance of the city, the creative, the party scene in Royal Oak, the diviness of Ferndale, like all these, like we did our photo shoot in Hamtramck. Like there's different sources of beauty and fun with these different suburbs of Detroit, and
we just figured it had the biggest opportunity for us to grow the brand, meet super cool people, and have the most fun.
Yeah. And
what better city to grow the brand in than Detroit?
Yeah.
So,
agreed.
Hopefully that answered it.
It was a good question.
Great question, yes. Friend of Skroove this week.
Go ahead.
Troy Murray.
Troy.
Talked about him earlier.
Yep.
Went to his art show, Exposed. He's an artist. Troy is a very cool guy. We got to know him a little bit more at his art show, talk to him. And he's going to be a podcast guest. We're going to get to know him even more towards the end of September.
Yep.
He's coming on the
26th.
show. Yep. But he's getting ready. That was his last art show in Michigan. He's getting ready to move out to Los Angeles. But, we had a blast at his show. Like you said, we bought a piece of his art. So, Troy on Instagram, at TYP Collection. Check him out.
His
Support him.
stuff's
Give him
killer.
a follow. Yeah, he has... I don't even know what his style is, but it's super... Like, at his art show, his stuff was super cool.
It's very cool.
How his pieces are put together and everything. So, check out Troy. Stay tuned for his podcast.
And we'll see you next time.
See you Tuesday, hopefully, I think.
We'll see you Tuesday. Have a fun and safe holiday weekend here.
Yeah, great point.
Enjoy the end of the summer.
Yeah.
And get ready to embrace the next season. It's
Fall.
coming. Fall is coming. Winter is coming. Must be the maintenance guy in the roof in the roof of our studio.
Installing our giant telescope.
Yeah. What?
But yeah, stay tuned. We'll be posting, but we might have a live show. next week.
Maybe. Don't count on it, but maybe.
Jeff. Time off.
And we'll see you next time. Thanks for tuning in.
Peace.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in. All episodes of What's Your Skroove are available on iTunes. And if you like the show, be sure to rate, subscribe, and leave a comment. As always, there are free stickers on our website, www.skroovecode.com. We'll see you guys next time.